Manx Grand Prix 2020, as we all well know by now, not happening, unfortunately, but we've been speaking to all sorts of people over this past week. And let's speak now to a man who made his Manx Grand Prix debut 15 years ago in 2005, Dennis Booth from Ballymena. Dennis, hello, how you doing?
Oh yeah, Chris. Hey, buddy.
How are you? How's things over there in Ballymena, hey?
Uh, it's pretty strange, really. Same for everybody, but it was, I was getting, as you do, prepped to go, and everything in place, sort of, and then all of a sudden, this came along, and it really has been real. Well, same for everybody, as I say, but it's really strange. You know, there was, I haven't, the race bikes haven't moved since I left the Manx last year. Bar Killeen, I've done Killeen, but they haven't moved. Well, I prepped them all. They're all prepped. The bike's not prepped, but really, it's been one of them ones. Really, one of them years, and it's frustrating in a sense. But hey, there's nothing we can do.
No, there's people in worse situations than what we are now, talking to each other. You look at other countries and that we're kind of not got off light. That's not the right word. It's still been very bad what has happened, but compared to other countries, by me, blimey neck. But let's go back to the race and let's look at Manx Grand Prix. We all know what a great event this is. Let's go back to Newcomers A, Manx Grand Prix 2005. Do you remember it? Do you remember what happened? The build up to it?
Well, yeah, I'll never forget it. Once you go down that famous piece of road, it's probably personally where I am now, sort of in my racing thing. I really have to say, if it wasn't for maybe the Manx, the Prix TT, the Southern, really, I built my year around all that. Really, to be fair now, I always did start racing just, just a bit of fun. I never took it. Okay, it does get serious financially and stuff like that there, but it's all. I try and keep it like a bit of fun. Let's not get too serious. So the guys I've met through racing is phenomenal. I probably never ever would have thought way back. I mean, listening to the radio, the late great Steve Hislop, 92 and Carl Fogarty. Listening to it, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be going down that famous bit of tarmac down Bray Hill. Never, but no, I'll build up to the 05. I really was to go. I started really back. It was 02. I was sort of thinking, that's where it was to happen. And then unfortunately, Tandragee, well, I'll never forget it, but a serious injury and I broke my leg. And, I was involved with the late great Davy Wood. And we were organising to, as newcomers say then, at that point, it gave me obviously a bit more time then. I made every chance I got. I was in a good position to go back and forward to the island. And my good friend Barry Wood, who has really stuck by me to this day, learned me absolutely everything I know around that place. You know what I mean? I just inspirational. But anyway, I think I started at number 8 on the Newcomers A. And I think I finished it. So they got there, but it's a wee while ago.
It was 10th.
Was it? Oh, there you go.
No,
I was good. I was riding a zig at the time, and I'll never forget the morning, as you do, the nerves. I just, what am I doing here? But no. Then it leads on to one that gets a hold of you, and here we are. 15 years later, or something like that. There you go. Or did I say 5 years there?
It sounds bad the way you mentioned Barry Wood there, and I think there's no better man to give a bit of praise to, really, because so many of the riders I've spoken to over the years, and Barry won Manx Grand Prix, classic Manx Grand Prix. He's a great rider, and all on the 250, on a 600, on a big bike. He's done TT on a big bike too. But the thing is, we were going to do a Zoom interview with Barry, but we wouldn't have enough disc space to record it all, because when he goes, you can't stop him talking, can you?
Yeah, no, he is absolutely, and debit to him for that. Honestly, we that day, that other famous day, probably I'll never forget, leading the senior. I got to we all know what happened at the 33rd.
You got a bit excited, didn't you?
Sorry?
You got a little bit excited, didn't you?
Oh, maybe inexperience, maybe it was the better way. I knew I was leading, but I didn't know by how much, really. And it was probably, I was still pushing a bit, which I had no need to, really. And, oh, well, here, listen, you can't hit the rewind button, and it was what it was, and that's it.
You've been around the game a long time. You've seen a lot of changes, but from what I'm looking at the Manx Grand Prix, a lot of good young talent coming up. James Hind last year, obviously Malachi Mitchell-Thomas, Billy Redmayne, sadly no longer with us, but there's a lot of good young talent coming up at the Manx Grand Prix, isn't there?
Oh, it's, and it's, I mean, anybody that's maybe not really doing it or doesn't realise, the speed those young guys is achieving. I mean, it's, when they're bumping in 118, 119s, 120, I'm going.
Consistently, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you go, wow, how's that done? I mean, really from somebody that's been, doing it a wee while, and you know what I mean? And I know what it's trying to get up to 117, 118, what it takes. But to do that, just, James Hind, that guy, that he has a big future ahead of him. I mean? He's so talented, I mean? He's just, unbelievable. The speed they're doing, yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What about the Irish scene there? I mean, obviously, possibly Cookstown is going ahead very shortly with their limited numbers there. Are you planning on doing that at all,
or? The entry then, Norman rang me, Prix rang me and says, I need to confirm. And I says, Norman, I just can't. The 11th hour, same as last year, I might just have to pull out because of work commitment. That's just one of them ones, you know what I mean? When I had to go, I have to go, and that's end of. But my plan is, yes, but then my good mate, Richard McPherson Bowser, who helped me in the day of the late, great Darren Lindsay, all the crowd around that, he's getting married. And he has invited me and the Trace, the good lady, onto the wedding. So we'll see what way. Well, we don't know what way he thinks is going to even pan out yet, Chris. We don't know. So let's getting close. But I would love to do it. Then all's in. So I would love to do it just to get a run out. Yes.
You were telling me you been at Kyrgyzstan the other week for a bit of a run round. How did that go? Did you go? Was it
the time I got there, and the wind was horrendous, and it gave heavy rain. I just didn't bring the bike out of the van. It was pointless.
Did any of the boys have a go? Any of the boys have a go?
Michael was there. Michael was there. Aaron Richard was there, and another couple of lads, and my good friend Alan Johnson. He went out a wee run. I was running a bit late again through work commitment, but I was running a bit late. And then I just got to a point it wasn't really worth the effort, just to get out and whatever. So it wasn't. No, so it was a no-goer.
It's not the most hospitable place when the wind's blowing off the Irish Sea, is it? Kyrgyzstan.
No, there's not much shelter, as we call it.
There's no little, what do you call it, shucks or something like that to go and lie in to get out the wind.
Shucks, dikes. Is that the word? Dikes.
So a little look at, obviously, the Manx Grand Prix last year, 35th in the senior, 26th in the junior. Are we happy with that, or?
No, well, shouldn't be saying this maybe on air, but we had a wee bit of a hiccup. So we had, even before practice started, to be fair, well, I'm not getting into it too much, but that sort of sidelined me a wee bit. Said that I was okay, but no, there was a reason behind that, but that's all I'll say about it. So there's no, I knew myself, that's not where I should be, really. And I just knew myself, you know what I mean, and just get this over. And no, I was really, really, really looking forward, because I made big amends, you know what I mean. My 600 is totally rebuilt. So it is, I could just say a big shout out to Jeb at MSS, for 2 engines, mega, the dynos and stuff that he's put out, on the bike, and I was really looking forward, let's it's hit this, and unfortunately we are. But no, there was a reason behind that, so there was.
Well, my dog's not happy anyway, whatever you've said anyway. So this is what happens. Your little dog's gone off. Let's just talk about next year. Obviously, 2021. I mean, what are you going to do over winter if all the bikes are already? What are you going to have to do some jobs around the house? How are you going to? What are you going to do?
Well, to all honesty, when I heard that the way we were ending up, we did in March or whenever it was, I started last October, and I just thought, I was always into a bit of cycling. Always did a bit of cycling. So I thought I missed it. I just got fed up with it. I took a year and 4 months out of it, and to be fair, I was losing my fitness a bit and blah blah blah. So I started last October out with the cycling club again, and needless to say, it was some wake up call really when I started out again. As you know, it's like anything, when you stop it and then go back, it's a wake up call. And basically, I just when I heard in March or whatever, and it just goes right. If I'm not racing, if I'm not working, I'm going cycling. And that's what I've been doing. I've over half a stone of weight off, so I must be doing something right. So that was in plan. I just get fitter, Chris. I enjoy the cycling. I don't enjoy the hills, but I enjoy the cycling. And I always did in it from a young age. So no, I just round the house working. I do a lot of hours working, as you know, and as anybody knows. Well, especially, I'm not saying about there's boys worse off again, but as a privateer, it takes a lot of money to go racing. I'm getting no help, and I'm not saying poor Mike and all this, but no, and that it is hard on your own. It really, really, everything I do and that goes back into it. The hours I do to do it. Road racing is a passion. It becomes a passion. So it gets a hold of you, and it's hard to let go. You know what I mean? Yes, I've seen the bad times, but also good times, and it's one of the hardest things. Yes, people could say, Dan, you're getting on a bit now. You don't near think you should, throw the feet up and just, just forget about it. You've had many years, 22, 23 years of it. Nice as well. I'm still enjoying it. You don't enjoy it when you have bad days and that, but I'm still enjoying it. And next year, I'll probably look more maybe at the classic, Formula Superbike Classic. I might look more into that. I might go a wee bit a different way there, but I will certainly be pre-TT and the Southern and the Manx again. That's for sure.
Do you have a little message to the Manx Grand Prix guys? Because obviously this is going on to the Manx Grand Prix Facebook page. There'll be so many of them. Good to see you guys on there. A little message for them, Dennis, because there's such nice guys and girls in the club, aren't they?
Oh, unreal! Lizzie and them all. When we're over there, it's amazing what they do. All those guys. A superb meeting. Nobody has any idea the efforts that people put in to run the like of that there, and when I'm sitting in August and going, I shouldn't be here. I should be in the Isle of Man, because I've been there every August.
Wouldn't want to be here on some of the days we've had over the past week or so. Really, really not. Horrible.
No, it's the same over.
Yeah, same over there, I suppose.
Yeah. Keep up the good work. It's amazing what they do. Keep up the good work, and a big hi from me, and Trace and Amy and that. And I will see you soon as ASAP, whatever.